and welcome to my channel. If you haven't already watched it, I suggest watching my February recap video where I go over the 9 books, 5 print, and 4 audiobooks that I read for the month of February and give a mini review for each. Also, I have my social media channels that you can feel free to follow and check out as well on my Twitter, Bookstagram, and Facebook accounts. So those I post a little bit more frequently than here on my YouTube channel. All right, so today I am celebrating female writers, women writers that I gravitate towards, that I've learned so much from them as individuals and their work, and just want to scream from the hilltops that it is amazing to be a woman. I can enjoy so many great books written by people like me, and one day I hope to write one as well. So yeah, here we go. First off, I have Nicola Yoon. So I have read Everything Everything, and also The Sun is also a star by her, and seen their adaptations. So she is an amazing writer. She teams up with her husband, and she does the writing and he does like the sketches or the illustrations. Now I can't even find one. So like things like this inside the books, and they are an amazing dream team, but she is just brilliant. I love her young adult novels, and they focus a lot on social issues of today. So race, interracial relationships, and immigration, strong female young adult characters, and yeah, I just love it so much. She's the writer that puts into stories and words a lot of the things I experienced as I was growing up, or just like I was saying with interracial relationships, being a biracial child, all of those kind of things, and she does it brilliantly and seamlessly in her work, and makes it, yes, it's a part of the story, but it's also normalized, and that I cannot say enough about, and how much I appreciate with her work. Then we have Celeste Ng, who wrote Little Fires Everywhere, as well as Everything I Never Told You. So I was introduced to her as a writer, not like in person, with my book club, the book club I had when I first started my job right out of graduate school. And we read Everything I Never Told You. I believe that was the first book we read, and had so much discussion, back and forth kind of novel about what happened to this girl who died. Like we know she died, that's like in the first page or the first sentence, and then goes into more detail from there. But what I like about Celeste Ng's writing is, again, the social issues that are brought firsthand, whether it's socioeconomic status, relationships, Asian Americans in the United States and their experience. So it's phenomenal, and she has such a good craft and a writing style. And Little Fires Everywhere was adapted into a Hulu series. I'm not sure if Everything I Never Told You will be, or is in the process of doing that, but yeah, absolutely loved her books. And it was cool because she got to be a guest star on the series in Little Fires Everywhere as part of a book club. So I thought that was like, oh, what a fun way to get involved. And she was like a member who had like a couple of lines when they were talking about the vagina monologues. And I listened to the Adaptables, which is a podcast. I think it's based out of Read It Forwards, company. I think was that Penguin? I think it's Penguin. And the two hosts brought Celeste on when they were doing the episode by episode of Hulu, and talking about the story from the book version and the TV adaptation version, and just going through like what their thoughts were, the choices made, the music, the style, and Celeste got to talk about her involvement with the show. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. Then we have Daisy Jones and the Six with the wonderful Taylor Jenkins Reid. So she has exploded over the last few years with so many fantastic novels. I am this month reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, also written by her, and then Malibu Rising, I believe, comes out later this year, which I haven't gotten a copy of yet, so hopefully I'll be able to read that when that comes out. But she is just phenomenal. Her storytelling is brilliant, especially like I listened to the audiobook of Daisy Jones and the Six. I don't know what it would be like to read the print book yet, but I had to pick this up. Okay, so it does, in the audiobook version, it's like the story's about a make-believe band that is kind of like a behind the music style commentary throughout the book, and there's different characters that have like different like interviews throughout the story, and on the audiobook they alternate and like have the different voices for these different characters. And in here you can see like they have the different people and interviews like going on and like shifting. So it could be confusing maybe, I'm not sure, like if I read the print version first, I don't know what that would have been like, but the audio, I like loved listening to it like that. But that style is so unique, and to come up with a whole fictional world and have it like interview and know the characters so well that they each have a spot to like give dialogue and talk about the general, or I guess like the overall story itself as they go throughout the history of the band is amazing. So definitely, just love this book. This is also getting adapted. Apparently I'm picking books that have been adapted, and that's why I like it so much, because I can see their work come to life. And this, I'm not sure when it'll be out, but they've done some casting already. But Taylor Jenkins Reid, or TJR as some people like to say. I don't know if I'm like her pal or something, I can call her that, who knows? But yeah, I'm excited to read more by her. Then we have Gail Honeyman, who wrote Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. So this was written, I believe, in 2017, but I've just now read it in the month of March. And her style is very like honest, but also like comical when it comes to different mental health and like social issues or social anxieties, things like that. And I just love how, like I said, honest she is with her writing. And this story is told in the first person, so we're getting the internal thoughts of Eleanor as she's dealing with a lot of heavy stuff. And the style of the story is like, we know like something happened in her past, and like we're slowly building on top of that, and little things here and there are revealed about what happened to her, or why she's very guarded or is not very trusting of people. And just a lot of her personality and like her tendencies are explained because of what happened to her, which was very traumatic and tragic. So yeah, I think the ability of Gail Honeyman to write about those serious topics and like shed some light and like not necessarily like put it in your face, but kind of, I really love that she was able to do so with a maturity, with sensitivity, and like with some reality in there of like trying to make the situation more comical, or downplaying it, or lying when it comes to saying like I'm fine. She says that a lot, and like digs deeper into like why people feel the need to say that. So in terms of mental health and kind of like social issues when it comes to like anxiety and like relationship building, I think she does a brilliant job. Then we have Jenny Han, who wrote the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series, also adapted. This is Netflix, at least, a little bit different, but this is amazing. Jenny Han does a wonderful job of including like Asian American heritage in terms of being a Korean American, or at least like an interracial Korean American in the United States. So, and just like the fun playfulness of like being in high school. I really love young adult novels. Like this was another one that made me fall in love with YA novels again, and like want to dig deeper into, not necessarily like it is lighter or it's a faster read, but they do tackle a lot of like issues and things that teenagers or even like adults may come into contact with or have problems with. So I like that, but also keeps like that light, fun, like romance kind of style in there. So yeah, I think she is amazing as well. She also starred in, well, guest starred, had a couple small roles in each of the 3 films. I thought was kind of fun to see her like come into play a little bit in the adaptations. So yeah, I love this whole series. I will definitely reread this again. Then we have The Poppy War, which is written by R.F. Quang, and she has at least a trilogy of this story. I'm not sure what other writing she has, but what I love about her is her attention to detail when it comes to the like including what like Chinese history or like Asian history when it comes to war and battles and all this stuff. Like that's what she studied and continues to study in like a doctorate program, is like Asian history. And like, I don't know, it's interesting to see, and like this is a fictional like fantasy, but the bigger issues or the bigger picture themes and symbols bring it back to Asian history and like the fighting that happened between different countries in that area, as well as like within the country and the wars that were fought there. So I absolutely love this book. It's deep, it's comprehensive. There's a lot of things going on in here, a lot of growth, a lot of complicated characters, complicated situations that, like I said, bigger picture talk a lot about more widely Asian history that at least I was not taught when I was going in school or going through school, like history lessons when it comes to Asian history, really didn't focus too much on it. So I was blown away by like what she was referring to in a lot of the commentary and the plot and the story building in here. Then I have Ellen Montgomery with the Anne of Green Gables series. So this is a beloved series of mine. I was first introduced to it based off of the PBS version in, I don't know, was that 1985? Somewhere around there. I wasn't born until 89, but my mom and I watched that series so many times. I continue to watch it every year, usually in the summertime, and then I'm still reading through the books. I've read Anne of Green Gables multiple times, but now I'm like trying to get through the series itself. I think there's 8 books, but I'm trying to read it October. Anne of Green Gables and Shirley is all about like Octobers and fall and how beautiful things are in that time of the year. So I read her books in October, but I like to watch the movies in the summer. Anyway, I think it's just a fun young adult Canadian story, and like her ability to be able to write a whole series and connect them all and have like again an independent young woman be the main focus, and how she grows and develops in her imagination and curiosity and her brilliance and sometimes stubbornness. So I thought that was cool. Like I feel like Ellen Montgomery as a female author back in this time period is putting forth a brave and like strong 13-year-old girl who might have been very similar to her and like wants to, who like sets her sights higher than what is expected or what society says that she should be doing. So yeah, I like that kind of progressive feminist kind of style going on. Yeah, I think this is something I come back to and just love. Even though it is a young adult series, it's very beloved. It's very much something that is comforting and I don't know, just inspiring in many ways. So those are the books that I chose in terms of having strong female writers being the creators of those stories that I've come to know and love, and ones that I know will stick with me and I will continue to have on my shelf for years to come. And I'm excited to see what else they come up with. Ellen Montgomery, not so much, but there's other books from her that aren't a part of the Anne of Green Gables series that I'm excited to dive into as well. But there's still ways that we are celebrating her, so I still find that a win. Like written how many years ago? At least 100 or let me check. Written in 1908, so I'm really bad at math. I didn't used to be. About over 100 years ago, and still being able to discuss those stories. And I hope the same for these other writers that I've shared today. So yeah, let me know as we celebrate Women's History Month, books that you are reading about like women in history, about strong female characters or female writers that you really appreciate. I guess honorable mentions that I didn't share would be Michelle Obama's Becoming, as well as Priyanka Chopra Jonas's Unfinished. Just again, amazing women. And like I go back and forth when it comes to memoirs of like celebrities and like people in the news and like regular people, but I think their stories are so humbling, even though they are more in the limelight than myself and others that I read about. They come from humble beginnings. They are like so philanthropic and genuine, brilliant people that I just admire. So I appreciate their stories as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below some of your favorite female writers or some books that you're reading right now by female authors and how you're celebrating Women's History Month. And if you'd like to subscribe, feel free to do that and hit the notification bell so you know when I post videos next. I at least post once a week on Mondays, and if it's a 2 video a week kind of week, then I will post on Mondays and Wednesdays or Mondays and Thursdays. I have my coffee and my wish list listed below if you want to support me in a different kind of way. But thank you again for watching. Have a great day and happy reading.